the suttas somewhere, it says, if you understand dependent origination, then you're an arhat. If you understand it completely, then you're an arhat. Then you're completely liberated. So of course I wanted to understand dependent origination. This was a few years ago. And like when I'm learning anything, really my approach to learning is basically be fully immersed in it, shove it in my mind until it sticks, kind of, yeah, intensely, kind of just smash it into my mind until it's in. But that's not, I can't say that bore fruit as far as understanding dependent origination, actually understanding it a few years ago. That's not, it didn't bear fruit. I didn't understand it, and I still don't, really. But the realization is first, and then you can understand it. I think the removal of the fetters, especially the first few fetters, 1, 2, 3, and then you have a chance of understanding it. You can't be mind identified, be fully mind identified, and understand dependent origination, as far as I could tell. In any case, and there's a lot of, like, when it's described, it's kind of described in some antiquated language, especially in the tradition I was in, TWIM, Tranquil Wisdom Insight Meditation. The language could be pretty archaic and precious and alienating, maybe. With contact as condition, blah comes to be. Craving, clinging. These words didn't really mean anything. But when I examine my experience, when I watch my experience, there's some different textures of activations that come up and fall away. And I feel like I could relate that to dependent origination now. One is contact. Contact might be the most straightforward one. Contact with one of the sixth senses. In Buddhism, cognizing is also a sense. Contact. And from contact downstream, other things arise. And other things such as stories about self, the idea, the conceit of the self comes to be. Does it feel like a chain? Kind of. But also kind of like a soup. Contact, and then what else surfaces after that contact is belief. I mean, stories, it's also habituated responses. Just habits in response to stimuli. You could see that as well. It's like something that bobs up from the soup, from the water, and you could see it. So I don't like using the language really of dependent origination, clinging, craving. Some of it resonates, some of it doesn't. But I'd rather use my own language so it actually resonates. Say stories, habits, habituated responses. I could see these things. Really see these things. And the hope is that clarifies realization. Anything that is not in the seeing only the seen, in the feeling only the felt, in the heard only the heard, etc. Anything that is clung to and caught up in, that is not clarity. And hopefully paying attention to dependent origination, framed in that way, reality framed in that way. Even the words framed are kind of too violent, too directional, but that's the best I have here. Hopefully that will lead to more clarity.